guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here, my name is Lauren. This is my 6th year homeschooling my 2 girls. Okay, I finally have an update for you on Christian light education. The language arts update that you have been waiting for. I want to say sorry it took so long, but also I have more to say since I waited and we actually started using the curriculum, so here we go. So we actually ended up switching in February, middle of the year, or I guess a little bit after, a few months ago. And I was actually piecing together a lot of different things from different companies, and it's kind of a lot. So if you want to see that, go ahead and check out my past curriculum video for it says 4th grader. But the majority of it was Brave Writer, the DART program, where you have basically like a smaller unit study that goes along with a book. So you basically read one book in a month and you have a guide along with that book. So she really did enjoy that, but I do feel like it was very open-ended, which is great for some people, but I feel like we needed more structure than that. But she really enjoyed reading. So we're going to be keeping an aspect of that. We stopped the good and the beautiful after the first week, and I already knew that we weren't going to be using their spelling or writing, which we ended up not using any of it. So we went with Brave Writer and we did the DART through January. We also did a few of the units with partnership writing through Brave Writer as well. So along with that, we were using a lot of different things and I wanted it to be more streamlined. Basically, her language arts was a bunch of different things, like a lot of different pieces. I talk about that in my curriculum video for her last year. Yeah, it was a lot of different moving parts and it was too much. So I wanted it all in one, but I also wanted it to be really thorough. She's great with reading. She loves to read. We did a full switch over to CLE, Christian Light Education, in February. So I'm gonna talk more about our curriculum picks for next year, but this is mostly about Christian light education and why we switched to it. I had her take the placement test. I think it's actually called a diagnostic test on their website. I highly, highly recommend that your child take this test. I'm only gonna say where she placed because it makes a difference for what I decided to go with. So she placed exactly in between, I think she was like 2 points away, between level 300 and 400. And I decided because this was advanced and I didn't want there to be any gaps. I mean, of course, no curriculum is perfect, but since this is very thorough, I wanted to take a step back, and also because she's their grade level ahead for her age to step back. So in February, we started with level 300 for language arts. So language arts 3, this is the teacher guide, and it comes with light units. So she's about halfway through. So these are the light units that she still needs to do, 305 through 310. So she has these light units to continue on with. And we also went ahead and did reading 3, which this is the teacher guide for reading 3. And same things here. This is the light units. There's also 10 of these. So she will be continuing both of those. But it has been great. I'm gonna show you inside. I also picked up language arts 4 for her to continue on with later on in the year. There's 2 quizzes and 1 test in each light unit, and it takes about 3 weeks to complete. So you do pull them out. So in the middle of the book, there's a test. This section right here, these, technically it's like 2 pages. This would be pulled out before you give the book to the child. And then farther in the back, there's their spelling bookmarks here. I just copy that, cardstock copy of that, so it's thicker. Here's quiz 1, front and back, and then quiz 2, front and back. So you would pull out the quizzes and the tests before you give the light unit to them. I would not say it's independent completely, but it does teach them. I'm just gonna look at section 1. So you see the red section here. This is the teaching part, which they can read themselves or you can teach them. It tells you exactly what to do. Circle the more descriptive verbs. Put the correct punctuation at the end of each sentence. I'm actually gonna flip the camera around to show you guys what this looks like, so I'm not trying to like hold it up. It depends on how many days a week that you want to do language arts or reading. We have been doing between 4 to 5 days a week. It just depends. So I think there was 16 lessons. So if you decide to do language arts 4 days a week, that would take 4 weeks for you to complete 1 light unit, and there are 10 of them. So that would be 10 months. That would be 10 months if you took no breaks. So this is Language Arts 3. This is book 310. You can see the table of contents here. There's 16 lessons. There's the pronunciation key. This is lesson 1. This is about memorizing. It just has what you teach or what is being taught. The child can usually read that by themselves. It tells you exactly what to do. So we remember sections, penmanship, so they would actually flip to the back and write that in. It says on page 59, it tells them what page to flip to. Spelling, which is also spelling bookmarks. I actually make a copy of this on cardstock and then cut them out so that way she has like a thicker version, and then this also stays in the book so it doesn't get lost. Yeah, so spelling, and then write the spelling words on another paper. So that is one lesson. And then there's the second lesson. It's another we remember section. Diagram the sentence. Tells you exactly what to do and following the directions. So it's very straightforward but very thorough, and I love it. So she's doing this instead of all of the other different books that she was working on. Okay, so lesson 5 is the quiz, and there's always an extra activity, which sometimes we do and sometimes we don't. But it tells them to review and use the checklist to review for the quiz and then ask for the quiz. And then depending on what the activity is and how our timing is going for the day, sometimes we do the extra activity and sometimes we don't. I kind of leave it up to her sometimes too. And then there's section 2, and you get up to, so this would actually pull it out, so the test would be pulled out as well. That's these pages right here in the middle. So that would not be there. And then this would be when you actually give them the quiz, which is lesson 10, same thing, extra activity. Lesson 14 is a self-check, so kind of like a review of this light unit. They do also spelling tests for each section as well. So there's 3 sections, 3 spelling tests, and there is a creative writing lesson. It's usually lesson 15, like the one before the test. And then the light unit test and extra activity. And then this is the score box. So score for the quizzes. I usually will do this other one. I will do that from the self-check. Like I will give her the other optional one here would be kind of like quiz 3, we would say, for the self-check. So I write self-check here and do that one. She gets an average and then the test and then the final score. And I also will write on the side here spelling, like spelling 1, spelling 2, self-check spelling. Okay. So for the quizzes, they also give you like a spelling test. So quiz 1 is spelling test for section 1. Quiz 2 is spelling test for section 2. Self-check was what I call quiz 3, is spelling test for section 3. So there's a spelling score and then there's just a score for the test portion. So there's 3 different ones, and then I write spelling over here. I average it out, and I also will do the spelling test. So you can see this also tells you in the teacher's guide what the word is and then a sentence for each word. So there's 15 spelling words for the quizzes. There's 15 words for the self-check. And here is the test. You have 25 spelling words. And if you flip to the back, you can also see that there's an alternate test. So if we need to take it again for some reason, there's alternate tests in here, and there's different spelling tests as well. So going back to that same one, there's 310 spelling test. It has the word, the sentence, and then here's an alternate spelling test. So same thing, there's like 2 options here for the spelling test. So yeah, that's how that is done. And reading is pretty much the same. There's also 16 in the 300 level. Previous levels, I don't think there's as many lessons. So you can see how this works. So they start out with a study word, cursive, lookup project, and the light unit glossary, which is in the book. Here's the glossary. You can write its definition here. They can also look it up in the back of the book as well, so they're not flipping back and forth. And then exploring the story, write an answer to the question and read the introduction, and then silently read Quarrel at the Ritter Place. So that would be in this book, part 1. So this is what would be read. right here. Yep, part 2. So she would stop here and then answer the questions. Read the Bible verse to yourself 3 times. Then they talk about suffixes here. Then there's the We Remember section. So all of that is review. And then that's it for lesson 1. Then it goes on to lesson 2. So they're not very long. But she loves reading, like I told you guys. And I think after she finishes level 3, we're going to stop. I think. We're probably not going to continue on to level 4 just because she already enjoys reading and reading books on her own. This, I feel like, would be beneficial if she needed more help with reading comprehension or something, but she does amazing on these light units, and to me it just feels like extra work for her at this point. So as long as she continues on the same track and like doing a really good job on it, I'm not going to have her do reading 4 at this point. So there's a look inside on what reading and language arts looks like, and so far we love it. Both of my girls are going to be using Christian Light education for language arts and reading, so that is the plan right now. There's a little sneak peek into my curriculum for next year. If you have any questions, please let me know. I hope this helps you out, and I will see you guys in my next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.